Hey guys, so this is the game that I've played with Frank. He was playing as white and I was playing as black. So he started off with playing a c4 pawn, then I responded with an e5. This is called the Sicilian defense. Um, yeah, in mind of trying to attack the d4 pawn of which he wanted to push. So his next move was the e4 pawn. Then I responded with a bishop to c5, then knight to f3, then also knight to f6, knight captures. I threaten the knight, he retreats, then I capture. After that, the knight captures the bishop. Probably I knew this was an exchange, so I knew the pawn was there to defend. So the pawn had to capture the knight. Then we are equal pieces. Is 3 points up. I'm also 3 points up. But what matters is the build up that is about to come. So it brings an attack on my knight. I retreat. Then it brings his knight out. I castle, putting the king to the safe place. He brings out his bishop attacking my pawn, but I can't let my pawn go for free, so I have to defend it. I push pawn, which is b6, defending my pawn. He brings his h3 pawn in readiness to open the file, maybe for the castle to move. Then I respond with a knight c6 in readiness to bring the attack. So he moves his pawn, which is g4. I move my queen. The reason for moving the queen, I wanted to pose a threat. Go maybe on the g3, which is if possible, or capture any piece. Then he brings his piece, his pawn to h4. My knight is there. He can capture cause he's being defended with a bishop, so not threat by the queen. My knight captures. He brings his pawn to defend, to attack, of which he knows the pawn is being defended by the queen, but I can also capture his bishop, which is there left alone. I capture his bishop, he brings his queen in attack. I capture his bishop again, which is more like forking the queen. He recaptures back with a rook. Then I also pose a threat, which is a check to the king. He has no option but to move his king this side. Then once he does that, there's also an advantage that I can attack the rook. So firstly I play my knight, which is b4, bringing a threat on a pawn, on a d3 pawn that is in front of the queen. Then he responds with attacking my knight. Then the best move that I can make here, it's an exchange. So if he wants to attack my knight, it's fine. The a3 pawn can take my knight, but I'll exchange my knight for a rook, which I'll bring an attack here, the queen attacking the rook. Then probably he can't capture because he knows it's a check. Then when he tries to run from the check, I'll capture two pieces up, which is the both rooks. They'll be gone. So he moves his castle in protection. Then I also capture again, posing a check on the king. Then he moves his king again, of which I know I can now capture the d3 pawn that is defended by the queen. Probably he can't capture because my queen will capture back. I'll gain the queen, so I can capture here, posing a check on the king. Then the king has to run. I also capture a rook. After this move, I'm 11 points ahead of him. So he recaptures my bishop, my knight with his queen. Then the best move that I can do here is probably give a check. Then Once that is done, the king runs seeking for protection. Then my next move, bringing the rook on e8, attacking his queen. Then the queen will just move because he wants to protect the queen. Then the best move that I can play from here probably is bringing this pawn up. The reason why I wanted to do this, that I moved this pawn, was to probably solidify the defense of these pawns that are left here, because the bigger pieces are trying to bring an attack and also defend the king. So he plays his king, like, I mean his rook, attacking my queen, but I can also avoid this trap by going on h3 while it's defending my bishop. So this is what I played. Then he can't recapture, because if he captures my bishop, I'll capture his rook with the queen. So he brings his knight, wanting to attack, wanting to pose a threat, either on bringing a checkmate close to my king or trying to attack the pawns that are defending the king. But that is no worry for me, because I know the threat is not that much. So I just move my bishop to d3, posing a threat on his rook, which is a more like a double attack. My bishop and queen is attacking the rook and also attacking the pawn that is on c4. So it tries to run with the rook tries to move, then I capture the pawn on c4, which is a pin. I've pinned, which is more like a pin. I can't call it a fork because it's not the knight attacking, it's a bishop. So it's more like I'm attacking two pieces at the same time. I'm attacking the king, which is a check, and also attacking the knight. So the king automatically will run away. Then the best move that I can play here, instead of me capturing the knight at d5, I'll just capture the pawn on b3, which is also a check. When I do this, the king will run away. Then I can capture now the bishop, I mean the knight on d5. The reason why I did this was because the bishop is being defended by the king, by the queen, and for him to capture my bishop will be impossible, because I'll my bishop would be defended. So on this game he captured, then I recaptured with the queen. So now it's one on one, more like it's just a one on one, me and the king, because I've got two rooks and the queen with 7 pawns, and he has only a queen and a king and 2 pawns. So his next move from here was the queen to b1, trying to like broke a check or maybe try to bring a defense, but this is not good enough because I still have many ways in which my queen could bring a check. So my next move was bringing the rook up on e2, in readiness to bring a checkmate using the queen. So he moves back, bringing a threat, posing a threat to my rook, which is trying to attack my rook. Then I just played my queen to d4, which is a check. Then automatically the king has to move. Then this is more like check in mate in 2 moves or 1 move. So once the king moves, the only fair move that my queen can make, which is the final check, it's queen to d2, I mean queen to b2. There we go, checkmate. So this is my how I played my game, and thanks for everybody that will have time to go through this video. You can try to analyze and see what you can pick up from this, probably learn something. And remember, there is no master in chess, but we learn through mistakes, and anybody can learn through the little things that you are able to comprehend. Thanks for watching. Bye.